cloud continues today, although the rain hasn't started yet, fortunately. And what's going on today? How about this one? I guess in the US, they're really pushing for drone deliveries to happen in various places now. How about this one? It says here, FAA makes drone history in Dallas area. As it says here, in a first for US aviation, the FAA has authorized commercial drone flights without visual observers in the Dallas area airspace. Typically, when operating drones, the drone pilot must be able to see the aircraft at all times. However, new advancements in air traffic technology and procedures are providing a key step toward making these beyond visual line of sight flights routine. So who are the two companies? It says the authorizations for Zipline International and Wing Aviation allow them to deliver packages while keeping their drones safely separated using UAS traffic management technology. In this system, the industry manages the airspace with rigorous FAA safety oversight. This is the first time the FAA has recognized a third party to safely manage drone-to-drone interactions, said Praveen Raju, a program manager in the FAA's Next-Gen office. As always, safety comes first, and we required exhaustive research and testing before giving the green light. Using UTM services, companies can share data and plan flight routes with other authorized airspace users. This allows the operators to safely organize and manage drone flights around each other in shared airspace. The industry developed consensus standards, which the FAA accepted, for how to accommodate multiple layers of low-altitude drone operations through UTM services. This kind of system provides high levels of safety without the need for overly burdensome regulations. So that's expected overall, where stuff like this will become more standardized and you'll see it more in various places as a common everyday occurrence. But at the same time, if you think about the contrast where when you see a recreational flyer flying a toy, it's the end of the world for a lot of people still. Fine them thousands of dollars, throw them in jail because it's too dangerous, but all of a sudden when it comes to this, it's okay to fly huge drones around people and all that, huh? And my other thought is, I've always mentioned before, it should just come down to basic traffic management. For example, here it talks about all this revelation in terms of this new tech and all that. How about just basic common sense? But at the same time, if this platform tells you where the drones are flying and all that, why not just make it public or something like that? Kind of like how we have it on the roads. You have traffic lights and all that. We can clearly see, okay, whose turn is it to go here and there? What's coming our way? Why not just use basic common sense, right? But either way, I guess you'll expect to see more of these around that area at least. And then there was another interesting tidbit in terms of, I guess, drones and that story in the US where somebody tried to assassinate Donald Trump. How about this one, where it talks about how the Secret Service actually had, I guess, a counter drone device per se, but they say it malfunctioned or didn't work, which is kind of interesting. This one says, Secret Service chief blames agency's faulty drone tech for missed chance to stop Trump shooter. The Secret Service may have been able to stop the gunman who shot at former President Donald Trump on July 13th had his counter-drone technology worked as intended. Ronald Rowe, the Secret Service's acting director, told Congress Tuesday that cellular communication issues delayed the Secret Service from launching counter-drone technology it planned to use to help secure the Butler, Pennsylvania rally site. The question of whether the Secret Service could have stopped the shooter who launched his own drone to survey the site roughly 2 hours before the rally if its technology had worked as intended has cost me a lot of sleep, he said. We could have perhaps found him, Mr. Rose said. We could have perhaps stopped him. I was just thinking, how is that even possible? It's kind of an irony too, where did they jam themselves for whatever reason? It says, according to the Secret Service, the drone system was supposed to be operational at 3 p.m. Mr. Grassley said, that day, however, we've been told by the Secret Service that because of the cellular bandwidth problems, it wasn't operational until about 5:20. And they kind of pressed in terms of how this could be for this type of tech. It says, Mr. Grassley asked why the Secret Service's technology is dependent on cellular networks and why there was no backup plan in place. Mr. Rowe was reluctant to explain the technology in detail in a public hearing so as to not provide tactical information to potential bad actors, but he admitted the failure to have a counter drone in the air is something he has struggled to understand. It doesn't really make sense in that regards anyways. At the same time, you could just have your own drone flying, which stories have shown they kind of denied it, correct? It makes you wonder what exactly could they have been using in this case. There were other information in regards to this story where they clearly showed that they were fully aware that there was a shooter there and all that, it seems like, but for whatever reason, they didn't take him out or tell, for example, people to get off the stage and all that, which in itself is weird, but this just makes it even more weird in terms of, I guess, drone and drone counter tech. And this piece of news was going around a lot. Apparently in Venezuela, there was an election and it's a heavily disputed one according to this. And wow, look at everyone that's protesting and stuff out there. Criticism of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro mounted Tuesday, a day after electoral authorities declared him the winner in a presidential election that the opposition claims to have won by a landslide. Thousands of ardent opposition supporters gathered Tuesday outside the United Nations office in the capital, Caracas, to mark that they say was an electoral victory by opposition candidate Edmundo Gonzalez. Maduro's allies, meanwhile, appeared on national television to accuse the opposition leaders of being fascists. Opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, standing atop a truck in Caracas, called on the National Electoral Council, which is loyal to the ruling United Scholars Party of Venezuela, to release the voting tally sheets produced by every voting precinct after polls closed, asking why don't they publish them. Just from reading the stuff online too, it seemed like they were claiming they were actually blocking people from monitoring the vote counts and all that. At the same time, there were kind of weird pictures online, which was supposed to be official, that tells you the total tally on what percentage each, I guess, candidate got. And it doesn't even make sense. It's completely over 100%. So there has to be some kind of, I guess, discrepancy there, like added votes or something like that. But again, the claim is some people are claiming they have internal, I don't know, information to say there's no way that party won and this, but it seems like everyone's divided. And there were actually some videos showing that military personnel and all that will actually support, I guess, the person that they claimed won. But at the same time, there's some people that are stepping down, and as you can imagine, huge protests and all that. So who knows what's gonna happen here, huh? But wow, that's kind of crazy in terms of this situation based on the information. All right, see you guys later.